Shalom, this is a big back with another edification. I want to thank all of my subscribers. I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits, and I want to wish all of my subscribers are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines here in America. I'm going to put this in airplane mode for a minute so I can go ahead and edify. I wanted to have a discussion regarding witchcraft. And basically, witchcraft is the practice of using magic, spells, or rituals to influence people or events. Now, stop right there. Lately, I've been pondering and going into discussions with various people that are near me about the witchcraft. And basically, the conversation that I was having was, let's take, for instance, a person wants to lose weight. It would be best for that person to find someone that has the results and the outcome of losing weight to learn how to lose weight, right? You know, somebody that's like an instructor, you know, on losing weight. And same goes for someone that is looking for love. Well, in order for that person to get the outcomes and the results that they want from love, they would have to, drink their own drink or subscribe to their own belief system, right? So me, knowing that I'm an Israelite, I would have to first subscribe to what Israelites are required to do. And I would have to get the results and the outcomes of this value system or of this truth in order for me to explain to someone about the benefits of being amongst the hopeful elect, right? So witchcraft says the practice of using magic, spells, or rituals to influence people or events. Now let's just deal with the influence of people, all right? The influence of people, because here in Babylon, here behind enemy lines, here in America, there's a lot of witchcraft, spells, magic, and rituals being pushed on others. And the person that's doing the pushing is more than likely a demon, because they refuse to drink their own drink to get the benefits of what it does, of what that said spell or ritual or magic does, right? You know, for example, you have, people using spells to make someone fall in love with them. But the way witchcraft is explained for me or interpreted is that the person that is using the spells on others refuses to drink their own drink so that they can get the results from, performing for the person that they're looking for, right? Isn't it hard to find a woman here behind enemy lines here in America that's willing to subscribe to what she's expecting someone else to do, right? That's witchcraft, right? A woman says she's looking for love. Well, does she love correctly? Does she get the results that she's going for from herself? Is she willing to be all that she can be off of this spell or off of this expectation or off of these requirements? Does she perform these requirements on people that she's looking for? Or does she expect these things in return without even subscribing to her own beliefs, right? So that's witchcraft. Only a witch will not drink the drink themselves in order to be a better version of themselves for somebody else. That's witchcraft, right? So me personally, if I have a weight loss regimen, and if I don't subscribe to it, then what do I look like expecting others to subscribe to something that I don't subscribe to, right? And there's different salesmen out here that sell stuff just to fill in the void, but they don't subscribe to the things that they're selling. But we're talking about witchcraft here, the practice of using magic, spells, or rituals to influence people or events. You expect someone that is looking for something in someone else to at least subscribe to the things that they're looking for in somebody else, right? That's like the dating system here in America, here behind enemy lines. The females made a lifestyle out of meeting multiple men that where the women expect the men to sponsor this lifestyle that the women, choose to live. That's witchcraft. Now, and what I mean by that is these women do not sponsor the dating lifestyle that they want to live, but they're expecting men to come along and to follow the rules written by feminism or written by the demons or these women. They're expecting the men to follow by the rules that the women set for the men to obey, right, and abide by. So that's witchcraft. All right. Let's go. Let's keep reading. It says historically viewed as malevolent, but now often practiced as a spiritual, nature-based, or secular art. Now let's just deal with the spiritual part, because again, this whole influence of witchcraft has been made a lifestyle, right? And basically, like I said, if someone is selling something that they don't subscribe to, then that's witchcraft. So it's like a person that's shining your boots or trying to sell a cleaner, some type of cleaning agent, but they say that they don't use it, but they're selling it to people, right? It doesn't really give off the warm and fuzzy. It doesn't reassure someone that it works, because this person selling it would not even subscribe to it, and they're not even living up to the standards of what they're selling, right? So that's why it's like I said before, that's why it's so hard for men to find a woman here behind enemy lines here in America that's going to walk the walk and talk that she's talking, right? She has to be what she's expecting first. You know what I'm saying? So for example, a woman has a little bottle of potion and she refuses to drink it so that the person that she's trying to sell it to can get a better version of herself. That's witchcraft, right? That's witchcraft. But they're promoting it as if it makes you, the buyer, a better person for them. That's a demon, right? That's a demon. Only a demon wants to sell something to people and explain it to them as if it makes them better, but the demon themselves won't drink the drink to make them a better person, right? So that's witchcraft, right? And that happens a lot here behind enemy lines here in America. You know what I'm saying? People have these kind of people in their family, have relatives like that, who expect other people to think a certain way, or to move a certain way, or to examine things or analyze things a certain way, and to see things from their viewpoint. And they'll put this standard or put this expectation or put this burden on others, right? When everyone has different fuels that light their fire, right? Some people use anger, some people use criticism, or, you know what I'm saying, just to fuel their fire, okay? So that's what I was getting into as far as these discussions lately. And I talk about these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines here in America. And this is one of those agendas that are waged against us, hopeful elect, or us men here behind enemy lines here in America. All right. It's witchcraft. all right? Lots and lots of witchcraft that are tied into lifestyles. It says here, historically viewed as malevolent, but now often practiced as a spiritual, nature-based, or secular art. See, nature-based, right? Nature-based. That means that that's a school of thought now. And it has bled over into different lifestyles, like starting families or, you know what I'm saying, indoctrination, right? And that's a belief system now, all right? People are walking around regular with these with witchcraft as a system to try to get people to be compatible with them more, right? Usually here in America, here behind enemy lines here in America, there's lifestyles that are expecting others to perform a certain way, right? But the person that's selling it does not buy it, right? If a person does not buy what they're selling, then it more than likely it's a gimmick, right? It's a gimmick or a scam, right? So let's keep going. It says it involves manipulating energy, often termed magic. All right, let's stop right there. It says it involves manipulating energy. That's what I'm saying. Most of these lifestyles here behind enemy lines here in America are based on manipulation, right? Based on manipulation. It's like you get 20% free, right? Of like a bottle of lotion, or to say like 20% free, right? But you're actually paying for, you have to purchase the item before you get the 20% free. Now, this may be a bad example, but again, that's like a gimmick, right? It's manipulation. But it always goes back to whoever's selling it. If they won't buy it themselves, then again, don't, I think that's, I get like very, very alarmed when I see someone selling something that they won't buy, right? It's like, why don't you drink it? Why don't you drink it? You're selling it. You want people to buy it. Why don't you drink it and see it? And let's see how it, let's see let's see if you get the outcomes that you're looking for. Let's see if you can perform these types of outcomes on someone else first, right? Now, if a lot of these demons, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to the stuff that they're selling, then they would be a better version of themselves, right? And that's how you know it's manipulation. You know what I'm saying? It's like witchcraft. They go to these females go into these groups and try to learn how to put a spell on somebody to fall in love with them, but it's not natural love, right? When if it doesn't work on the person that's selling it, then of course it's not, it's witchcraft, right? Like I said, these females, if they want love, then why won't they subscribe to the stuff that they're expecting someone else to buy, right? Why won't they give the person that they're looking for a better version of themselves, right? So if a demon is walking around here thinking that they're supposed to be accepted for who they are, but they refuse to become a better version for who they're looking for, then that's witchcraft, right? That's witchcraft. Every class or every college that I went to, it always helped me become a better version of myself. I never would join something where the teachings is helping me expect more out of other people, or is teaching me to manipulate people, right? Everything I subscribe to has always been for me to become a better version of myself, right? That's not witchcraft, right? That's increasing my fortune, okay? And we're going to get into that here soon. Okay, so I just wanted to point this out there real quick, that a lot of these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines are basically witchcraft, right? Lots and lots of witchcraft. So Salakia, let me get a drink right quick. I got some water. Okay. It's alarming to me for people to expect others or to manipulate others when this is something that they don't even subscribe to, right? Get your results first. It's like a dating coach that's not married but has all this advice about dating or marriage or relationships, right? Or family, and they don't have a family. You know what I'm saying? Get the results first, and then you can be an expert on what you're teaching, right? That's pretty much what I'm saying. So you have a lot of single women out here giving advice, and they're not married and stuff like that. So and then they can't even get the results that they're looking for because they refuse to subscribe to the manipulation that they're teaching or pushing on others, right? So that's, it's all a scheme and a scam at that point and a gimmick at that point. So it says it involves manipulating energy, often termed magic, to achieve personal goals, right? Or foster connection with nature. And nature can be another person, right? That's manipulation, right? All the fake up that the females wear, they're everywhere. They're on all these dating apps with all the the I call it fake up, but it's the makeup, and they have all the fake up on, and they get to take their pictures on IDs, and they get to pass this false image off on a lot of agencies that require identification, right? So the person on the date, the person that they're meeting, never gets a chance to see the real them, right? I think recently there was a guy that married a woman. She had on fake up, and she finally removed her fake up after he married her, and then he instantly divorced her because he didn't like her natural look, right? So that's manipulation, right? And we've seen that before, in a cartoon Snow White. The witch needed to sacrifice Snow White so that she can become younger. That's witchcraft. All of it is witchcraft. Okay, so let's keep, or the filters on the phones and stuff like that. All of that is witchcraft and manipulation. Okay, so and we've seen that recently too with the Asian women using filters to make themselves look 20 years younger. And then I think there was a glitch in the little app that they were using, and a lot of the followers unsubscribed because they saw the real version of the woman. The women, they looked disgusting. So that all of this is witchcraft to make a connection, to foster a connection with nature. Let's keep going. It says modern practices is diverse. Modern practices is diverse, right? Ranging from eclectic, solitary paths to structure. All of this is like different social. It's all different areas of socialism, trying to make a connection, right? It says religious paths like Wicca. I'm not sure what Wicca is, but it says Wiccans follow the religion of Wicca, focusing on nature, reverence, and the goddess and God. That's all witchcraft. All of that's witchcraft. So we don't have to get into all of that. I just wanted to focus on these up here, especially what's highlighted in blue. The practice of using magic, spells, or rituals to influence people. Let's stop right there. People. Now we know events is like Christianity, high level witchcraft, right? High level demon energy being pushed on these unbelievers, right? Let's focus on the practice of using magic, spells, and rituals to influence people, because again, be very alarmed and be aware of people who expect others or push expectations on others, and they themselves don't subscribe to these expectations to get the greater outcomes for themselves. When that's really all I expect a person to do, is to tell me how what they're using got them the results that they expected out of themselves, not to push it on other people. If it works on me, and again, the scriptures talks about Israelites focusing on what's going to happen to the elect, not what's going to happen to the unbelievers. We know the unbelievers are going to perish. But as far as the righteous go, I'm supposed to be concerned about what's going to happen to the righteous, okay? And focus on that so I can get the results that I'm going for, not to try to go around and turn people into the hopeful elect when the Most High has already predestined who the hopeful elect already are before the womb, right? Before the womb, he formed the hopeful elect. Okay, so it's not my job to go around trying to convert everybody into being a hopeful elect. All right, the hopeful elect have already been chosen and predestined. Okay, So that's my focus, okay? It's not my job to start turning the word into witchcraft and trying to change every person or force every person to understand this word and to walk this walk, right? That's what I'm saying. So I think I made my point on that. But let's go over here to Jeremiah 20, 29 and 1. Okay, it says, now these are the words of these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders. All right. That now the elders are the elect. All right, the elect. It says the residue of the elders who were carried away captive, and to the priests and Salaki. Not the elders are not the elect, but it says unto the residue of the elders who were carried away captive, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. So these are just the people of the people of Israel. All right, the elders were amongst them as well. Now it says, after Jeconiah, the king and the queen and the eunuchs, the princes of Judah and Jerusalem, and the carpenters and the smiths had departed from Jerusalem, all right, Salakia, by the hand of Elisah, the son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, sent unto Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all who are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon, build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Okay. Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that they may be increased there and not diminished. Okay, so that's a command for the children of Israel to come together, build homes, and start families with each other. All right. It says, and seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto the Lord Yahweh the power for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace. Okay, so he wants them to establish themselves right there in that place. Okay, he says, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners who are in the midst of you deceive you. All right, neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed. Okay, so he's sending out a warning. All right, he wants them to follow his instructions and to not fall victim to these diviners and prophets that are amongst them that are deceiving them, probably because they're going off with paganism or idolatry, right? So it says, for they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. And we're dealing with that right now here behind enemy lines here in America with these religions and all of these unbelievers that are out here pretty much multiplying their lies and their scoffing against this word, all right? So it says, for they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord Yahweh the power. And that's what's going on over here. Pretty much these deceivers that are preaching are serving their purpose by influencing the unbelievers, right? It's all meant to happen, okay? But they're only going for the unbelievers. They're not going for the righteous. Now, at times, these unbelievers will try to scoff at the hopeful elect or the prophets, or they'll try to, challenge the truth and fail. But for the most part, they're only going after, and they're demons, they're only going for the fools, okay, the unbelievers, okay. 10, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh the power, that after 70 years are accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, causing you to return to this place. So he's going to redeem them at a later time, but he's already separating them from the rest and preparing them early. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord Yahweh, the power, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." Again, so he's looking forward to removing them from amongst these other unbelievers that are at that time in Babylon, right? This is the first Babylon. Now we're in the daughter of Babylon here in 2026, but let's continue, because the same thing is going to happen here, right? For the hopeful elect. It says, "Then shall ye come upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you." So I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to hear you. We're going to become one again. 13, "And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart." Okay, and that's what's coming here in modern day Babylon amongst the hopeful elect. We will be redeemed. Um, we will be redeemed, and hopefully I'm amongst that group. It says 14, "And I will be found by you, saith the Lord Yahweh the power, and I will return you from captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations, from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord Yahweh the power. And I will bring you back into the place from whence I caused you to be carried away captive." All right. "Because ye have said, the Lord have raised us up prophets in Babylon." And all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's what the elect here behind enemy lines here in America are going to be given all praises to the Lord raising us up as prophets in Babylon amongst all these unbelievers. All right, he's already causing a division with the word coming out of the mouths of his prophets. All right. 16, "Know that thus saith the Lord Yahweh the power, of the king that sitteth upon the throne of David, and of all the people that dwelleth in this city, and of your brethren who have not gone forth with you into captivity. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will send upon them the sword," right? "The famine and the pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten. They are so evil." All right. So there's going to be a separation. All right. The hopeful elect are going to be separated from these unbelievers, all right, that speak so foul against the word of the Most High. So he's watching these people, all right. He already planned it for it to be like this, a separation, and the unbelievers to be scoffing and to be led away by the deceiving um, priest, all right, of paganism. 18, "And I will persecute them with the sword, with famine, and with the pestilence, and will deliver them to be removed to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be a curse and an astonishment and a hissing and a reproach among the nations whither I have driven them, because they have not hearkened to my words, saith the Lord." And again, the prophets are here, and these unbelievers are constantly uh, um, um, turning an opportunity to hear the word and to another chance to um, to get some clout, right? To get clout off of trying to argue and disagree, and to just spew their hate for the truth, right? Constantly going against the truth. All right. So it says, "Because they have not hearkened to my words, saith the Lord Yahweh the power, which I sent unto them by my servants, the prophets," right? Let's read that again. "Because they have not hearkened to my words, saith the Lord Yahweh the power, which I sent unto them by my servants, the prophets." See, so what's that verse where it says, "My prophets were amongst you, but you scoffed and didn't want to hear their what they were saying, and I'm paraphrasing, but they can't say that they were not amongst that their prophets were not amongst them. They just don't. They just refuse to believe this word and to listen to this word, this truth. All right, but the prophets are here. It says, because they have not hearkened to my word, saith the Lord, Yahweh the power, which I sent unto them by my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them, but ye would not hear, saith the Lord. And that's what's going to happen to these unbelievers. He said he's going to put a curse and an astonishment and a hissing and a reproach among all the nations, whither he have driven them. Talking about these unbelievers, all right, because they're here with us, but they just refuse to listen to the truth. It says in 20, hear ye therefore the word of the Lord, all ye of the captivity whom I have sent from Jerusalem to Babylon, right? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, concerning Ahab, the son of Kolaiah, and of Zedekiah, the son of Maaseiah, who prophesy a lie unto you in my name. Okay, so he's calling out these false preachers by name and making an example out of them. All right, he says, behold, I will deliver them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall slay them before your eyes. So we're going to see a lot of these false prophets be destroyed by the spirit of Yahweh. He's going to cause these Romans to destroy these false prophets at some point, right? And it says in 22, and of them shall be taken up a curse by all the captivity of Judah who are in Babylon, saying, the Lord make thee like Zedekiah and like Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in fire. So again, the Spirit's going to come over the elect, and we're going to realize that the Most High is here to deliver us, and he's going to cause a lot of these falsehoods, these false prophets to be destroyed anyway. It says, because they have committed villainy in Israel and have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives. And that's what's going on today in these churches, right? And have spoken lying words in my name, which I have not commanded them. Indeed, I know and am a witness, saith the Lord Yahweh, the power. So he's witnessing all of this falsehood, all right, and all of this deception. Hell, Esau is gonna be punished for his deception of the world. And these false prophets are doing the same thing. They're deceiving the world, all right, and using the word of the Bible to do so. And the Most High he's gonna cast a curse and a judgment against them, all right. He's gonna put them to death. It says, thus shalt thou also speak to Shemaiah and Nehelamite, saying, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, because you have sent letters in my name unto all the people who are at Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah, the priest, and to all the priests, saying, the Lord have made thee priest in the stead of Jehoiada, the priests, that ye should be officers in the house of the Lord, for every man that is mad and maketh himself a prophet, that thou should have put him in prison and in the stocks. Slakia said, now therefore, why hast thou not reproved Jeremiah of Anathoth, who maketh himself a prophet to you? See, and he says, for therefore he sent unto us in Babylon, saying, this captivity is long. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit thereof. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the ears of Jeremiah the prophet. Then came the word of the Lord Yahweh, the power, unto Jeremiah, saying, send to all those of the captivity, saying, thus saith the Lord concerning Shemaiah and Nehelamite, because Shemaiah have prophesied unto you, and I sent him not, and he caused you to trust in a lie. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will punish Shemaiah and Nehelamite and his seed, and he shall not have a man to dwell among this people, neither shall he behold the good that I will do for my people, right? Saith the Lord Yahweh the power, because he have taught rebellion against the Lord. So again, these Israelite false priests have been licensed to teach Christianity. And just like Shemaiah and Nehelamite were licensed to teach uh, paganism and false doctrine and idolatry to the children of Israel by these Gentiles. Okay, so the Most High sent a letter out saying that there's going to be a judgment coming to those who deceived his people. All right, because he was causing a division, and it was time for the Israelites to start separating. All right, and to be getting ready to come together with the God of Israel again. And that's what's going to happen over here behind enemy lines here in America. Instead of witchcraft, right? Because a lot of these Israelite Gentiles are pushing falsehoods on the children of Israel. And just like Esau is going to be destroyed for deceiving the world, so are these false preachers that are Israelites. All right. So hopefully somebody's been edified, because we have a lot of demons multiplying themselves and multiplying their hostility and their lies against the children of Israel, the hopeful elect, the prophets that are prophesying against Babylon. They're going to be treated the same way. All right. The Most High is going to cause a spirit to come over these Gentiles, these Romans, and there's going to be a separation amongst the children of Israel that has already began. And we're going to witness the downfall of these false preachers. All right. And amongst them are prophets that are going to really be caused to separate as well. So we're going to see it happen all over again, just like it happened in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 29. So again, with that said, I want to thank all of my subscribers, and I want to wish all of my subscribers high health and high spirits. And I want to wish that all of my subscribers are safe and protected against these agendas that are waged against us here behind enemy lines here in America. This has been a Beak with another edification. Shalom.